years, I kept asking myself, why do my employees keep asking me the same questions over and over again? At first, I thought I had a people problem. Looking back, I had a clarity problem. And the solution was something I fought for years: job descriptions. For years, I refused to write them down. I thought they were something only big corporations needed. We were a small business, everybody wore multiple hats, everyone pitched in whenever they were needed, and I figured everyone already knew what they were supposed to do. Honestly, I thought job descriptions were just paperwork. Looking back now, I was completely wrong. Not because job descriptions are magical, but because I underestimate how valuable clarity really is. My mindset was pretty simple. I didn't want policies. I didn't want bureaucracy. I definitely didn't want employees saying, "That's not my job." I wanted a team that would jump in and help whenever they were needed. So every time someone suggested writing job descriptions, I pushed back. I kept telling myself, we don't need those. What I didn't realize was that while everyone was willing to help, no one was completely sure what they actually owned. The real problem, eventually the cracks started showing. I remember days where one employee would ask me a question, and 5 or 10 minutes later, another employee would ask me almost the exact same thing. My first thought was, didn't we already cover this? The truth was, we had, just not consistently. Some people thought they were responsible. Someone else thought it belonged to another department. Some things got done twice. Other things didn't get done at all. New employees learn different ways of doing the same job depending on who trained them. And before long, every question, every decision, every problem ended up on my desk. The one day it finally hit me. The problem wasn't my employees, the problem was me. I never clearly defined what success looked like for each position. What finally changed, out of pure frustration, I hired a business coach. One of the first things he asked me was, "Show me your job descriptions." I remember thinking, seriously? That's what we're starting with? I honestly thought there were much bigger problems to solve. But he kept coming back to the same thing. Reluctantly, I gave in. We sat down together and wrote them. Nothing fancy, no huge employee handbook, just clear expectations, responsibilities, who owned what success looked like. Honestly, I didn't expect much to change. The results didn't happen overnight, but it became obvious pretty quickly. One thing really caught me off guard. Several of my key employees read their job descriptions and said almost the exact same thing. "Oh, that's how you want things done?" I was shocked. These were good employees. Some had been with me for years. They weren't doing the job wrong because they didn't care. They were doing it the way they thought I wanted it done. The problem was I had never clearly explained what right looked like. And honestly, I thought I had. That's what surprised me the most. As a business owners, we spend so much time thinking about our business that we assume everyone else sees it the same as we do. They don't. If we don't explain it, they have to guess. That one moment completely changed how I looked at managing people. From that point on, people asked fewer questions, training became much more consistent, employees understood what they owned, performance reviews became easier because expectations were already clear, and for the first time, I wasn't making every little decision. I wasn't micromanaging nearly as much. Here's what surprised me the most. The documentation wasn't the solution, the clarity was. The document simply forced us to have conversations we hadn't had before. Lessons for business owners. If your employees constantly interrupt you with questions, if your work gets done differently depending on who's working, if important things keep falling through the cracks, don't immediately assume you have a people problem. You may have a clarity problem. Ask yourself one question. If I asked 3 employees to describe the same position, would I get 3 nearly identical answers? If the answer is no, that's the problem where I'd start. For years, I thought job descriptions were corporate fluff. Today, they're one of the first things I look at when helping small business improve its operations. Not because I love paperwork, because I know exactly what it feels like to answer the same questions over and over again. Today, I don't look at job descriptions as paperwork, I look at them as leadership. Because leadership is creating clarity. Clarity gives employees confidence, it gives them ownership, and it gives business owners something we all want: fewer interruptions and less chaos. And a business that doesn't depend on us for every little decision. If you're running a small business and feel like you're constantly putting out fires, send me a message. I'll give you a second set of eyes on the operation.